Well, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Back out again on the 2018 Honda Goldwing. Just love being on this bike. Just got back, I'm not sure when I'll post this video, but just got back from Americade yesterday, Americade 2019. And I decided I wanted to share some of my thoughts about the bike rally while they're still fresh in my mind. And possibly give those people who have never been, sort of an idea of what goes on and what to expect. I know there's many people out there that have been many times, but it was the first time for me. And so maybe this video is more geared toward first time Americade attendees, if that's what you're contemplating for next year. So let me start out by saying that it was an absolutely outstanding weekend. The weather was almost perfect. We rode up. Americade's all week. I believe it begins on a Monday and then ends on a Saturday, Saturday evening. We rode up that Wednesday, so midweek. So Wednesday when we rode up, we hit some rain. Wasn't the greatest riding weather. We rode approximately 300, I think it was 330 miles from western New York, from Buffalo, to get up to Lake George, New York, where they hold an Americade. So it was about 330 miles. We probably made it, the first, we were lucky, maybe the first 2/3 with just cloudy skies and a little bit of sprinkling, but then it started to come down a little bit that last third of the way. It just made it miserable. You just want to get there and just, get out of your gear and just relax. So that last third of the ride wasn't too pleasant, but it's a trip. It's a vacation. You're going, so you make the best of it. So outside of that first day, that Wednesday when we went and the weather was bad, the rest of the week was phenomenal. Thursday, we stayed Thursday, Friday, and then we rode back Saturday. So one of the things that I was not aware of, being new to the bike scene, is that in New York State, if you really want to have some nice riding, the Adirondack region, up in the Lake George area, is really where you want to go. It's just a lot of twisties, windies, mountainous areas, just scenic. I keep saying, I want to say beautiful, but in all my videos I said beautiful way too much. Very scenic and just really gorgeous areas. So if you're gonna go on a rally and you're in the New England states, the Northeast, Americade is really the one that you don't want to miss. Second thing I would say that I really enjoyed was that the age range. I mean, there's young people there on their sports bikes. I would say early 20s, whatever, on their sports bikes, to people that are in their 70s and 80s, on trikes. I think they announced that the oldest rider that they had there was 93 years old. And so you see the full gamut of people there. It's not geared toward one specific bike. It's not geared toward one specific age group. It's geared for everyone. If you like to ride, it really is the event for you. It's very open. Some of the bike rallies, I'm told, are more, I guess, specific to a certain genre, certain motorcycle clubs, 1% groups, 1% clubs. And so when you go to those rallies, sort of like Sturgis or maybe even Laconia, they're more geared toward those type of bikers. I would say Americade really is geared toward everyone. I think you could be of any age, and as long as you have a bike, as long as you like to ride, you'll have a good time. And even in saying that, I'll take it a step further. What I found was, even if you're not into riding, let's say you don't have a bike, let's say you're not into riding, you don't have a bike, there is just so much to do, so much to look at, and such a beautiful area. I think you would have a really good time at Americade. Don't be fooled if you've never been before. And let's say, here's some advice I would give you. If you have a friend that's going, let's say, your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, or just friends invite you to Americade, but you're not a rider, and you're thinking, I don't want to go to Americade because I don't ride, I don't have a motorcycle, I'd be bored. That's absolutely not the case. You're going to have a fantastic time with there and the events that they have going on, just the different parties and the outdoor atmosphere. You're going to have a good time. So don't be caught up in the notion of thinking, well, I can't go because I don't have a bike or I don't ride. I think if you know someone that's going, or you just want to go on your own, you'll have a fantastic time. Third thing I would say is that the people there, extremely nice, extremely friendly, people that you meet. You know, you have one thing in common, and that's people like to ride. And people love to talk about their bikes. They love talking about their motorcycles. They love talking about their three-wheelers. They love talking about just, riding in general. So it really is kind of a kindred spirit there. So you'll have a good time. You'll meet people, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So the people are the third best thing. 4, and I don't have it a certain numbers. I'm just rattling these things off. 4, the food. Lake George area. So many nice restaurants. I don't think I had a bad meal the entire time I was there. And I'm not talking about if you're going anywhere fancy. It's just like, pub food. Just the pub bars along the area, pizzerias. They do have, really nice, if you want to have a fancier meal, they definitely have that. But just being out in along the strip, I would call it, Canada Street, the food in the area, no matter where we picked to stop and eat, it was a really good meal. So you're going to eat well. So that's another positive. Sometimes you go places and it might be decent, but then you can't get a good meal, and you're like, I wish they had better restaurants. Lake George area is great for meals. I don't know what number I'm up to. 4. So 4, the riding. Again, Adirondack area. We went, and I want to thank Joe and Janine and Daryl, friends of mine that invited me to go to this event, because I knew nothing about the event until they told me. Now I'm hooked on it. Definitely be there next year. But the riding. So we were in Lake George, and I don't have the specific mileage. I want to say it was about an hour and a half ride to Lake Placid. So we took a really nice scenic ride to Lake Placid and had lunch there, and just beautiful in Lake Placid. Even so much to the point where I think next year we'll actually make it more of a day, an entire day up in Lake Placid, instead of just the ride up for lunch and then and then subsequently riding back. So you're within. You're within so many areas, being in the Adirondack region, Lake Placid being one. They offer guided tours. You can go into Vermont. I guess they have covered bridge tours. And the nice thing about it is Americade offers all of these at a reasonable rate, but you don't have to do their guided tours. You can just get on your bike and go the same places they're going and experience the same things. But they make it easier for you if you want to go in a group. They'll take you where they've already pre-plotted these routes out, and they'll take you around and show you. So the area, we did have an opportunity. I believe it's Whiteface Mountain. We went up to Whiteface Mountain, took a ride up there, and then kind of hiked up to the top of that. That was great. I mean, if you'd have told me again a year ago that I'd be doing that, I would have told you were crazy. But just the views from Whiteface, and be able to ride your motorcycle up there, and the elevation, and be able to ride it down, just a great day of riding. So I would say the rides are another positive for Americade. If you take your bike up there and you want to ride, that's one of the things we wanted to do. Another thing I would say, I don't know, what number am I at? 5, maybe 5. The vendors. Because it is such a large rally, the vendors from major manufacturers of accessories for bikes, most of them are there. And they have tents set up, and you're able to get work done on your bike. I had some stuff put on by Gold Strike, some accessory lighting, and some highway pegs. It's one of the things I realized going down there. I only have, what do I have on this bike now? 1,238 miles. So I didn't have highway pegs on my Gold Wing before I took this trip down. On the way down there, I was like, I got to get some highway pegs. So one of the vendors that I prefer was there, and they had their tent set up, and just brought my bike in, and not just the vendor that I prefer, but all the major vendors, Kuryakin, Rivco, all the major vendors, Ciro, that do modifications to bikes, were there, and you just brought your bike in, and then whatever you wanted done, they did right on the spot. It was really nice. So the vendors are a great plus. I don't know. Again, I've never been to Sturgis, but from what I've been told, this Americade is one of the biggest events, biggest places to get vendors, to find vendors. So I enjoyed, I enjoyed being able to get some work done on my bike. So I really had a great time. One of the lessons I would say I've learned is that I want to be there longer. So we left out Saturday morning. I think next year we'll plan it so that we stay till Saturday. We'll stay till Sunday morning, stay Saturday night till Sunday morning, so we can experience it. Oh, and I don't know what number I'm, 6, 7, whatever number it is. I can't keep track. One of the biggest things, one of the best things, is the bikes. How could I leave that out? These bikes are phenomenal, and people park their bikes out on Canada Street, which is the main road, and I guess Canada Street and Beach Road are main roads, and they bring their bikes in and they park them out, and you can spend hours just walking up and down the road looking at bikes. That's what I get. I got hooked on just looking at bikes, or you could another thing you can do is just take a seat. I saw a lot of people brought out folding chairs, and they were just seated on the road, on the street there, and it was like, all night long just watching the bikes go up and down the street. Very nice, very nice. I was really impressed with a lot of the bikes that were there. So I'm not a bike guru, couldn't tell you a whole lot of makes and models. I do know the ones I like, but if it's on 2 wheels, chances are you're going to see it there if it's on 2 wheels. So if you're into motorcycles, or if you're just into stuff that looks cool, I guess that's the best way of saying it. You don't have to be into motorcycles. If you're just into cool stuff, you will enjoy Americade. You really will. So if you have ever any reservations of going, don't. It's a good time. I'm looking forward to next year. So I don't know if you can tell, I'm just riding around talking about Americade, but I am up in Niagara Falls, by the falls. One of the advantages that I have to where I live is I live 10 minutes from the falls. So I don't get up here often, so I just said, go out and ride around. Today's a beautiful, because I like that word again, beautiful Sunday afternoon. So I just figured I would ride around and go on up to the falls. One of the things, when you're at the falls, or when you live so close, sometimes you don't really take advantage of all the wonderful things you have because it's right there. You won't really go. I can go to the Niagara Falls anytime. You realize that people come from all over the world to go to Niagara Falls, and you live 10 minutes away. Sometimes you just don't take advantage of it. So I said, I'll take a ride up there. I haven't been up here in a while. So, but don't have any reservations whatsoever about going to Americade. Again, the only regret that I have is that it was over, and I should have stayed longer. That's the only regret that I have. So what I wanted to do was give you guys a look at some of the work that I had done to the 2018 Honda Goldwing. Gold Strike company did some rear lighting for me. So what I had done was, as you see, you have a Tor blade here, lighting here. I have a trunk. I forgot what they call it, but like a trunk light. Some rear lights here, some and a reflector, lit reflector, and some saddlebag lights on the side. I did have them also put these highway pegs on, and they are fantastic. These saved me on the ride home. Just made it really comfortable. I also had not done at Americade, but I had Russell Daylong do a seat modification here to the original seat and added the backrest. And I also had F4 Customs windshield done on the bike. That's a 20-inch recurve. So this is my 2018 Honda Goldwing. A little bit of work done to it. We'll see what else we're going to have done to it. For right now, though, I'm happy with what's been done so far. I think there's some, modest upgrades without going too crazy with it. But I'm happy. Thank you to the guys at Gold Strike. They did a phenomenal job on that bike.